Guilty on all 34 counts. You know, every once in a while we do have a bit of fun. You know, every once in a while we get a little bit of fun. And I think that's okay, you know? We've been very good boys and girls and non-binary people for the individuals among us who grew up watching Steven Universe, you know? We've dealt with a lot of hardship in the past few months, and I think that every once in a while we deserve some good news. What's up? What's up? Oh, my God. Literally jump when you started talking. Who could have predicted that the streamer would start talking at the time that the stream said he would start talking at, you know? I agree. What's up, everyone? Oh, my God. Jury of our peers, huh? Jury of our peers. I learned about this through an everyone ping in the Discord server, and there was 4,000 messages within 5 minutes. You know, first criminal conviction of a president, first criminal trial, conviction, all counts. I mean, my God. My God. Thought it was going to be a hung jury. Yeah, I had no idea, you know, the idea of honestly, I'm surprised, mostly just an account of I'm so used to people like Trump getting away with everything. I still think this is such a like Al Capone getting caught on the taxes bit, you know? Like this is such a like off on a technicality. This is so minimal compared to so much other stuff that he's done. But it turns out like a lot of the big stuff wrong that you can do, they don't really have laws for that in the same way. Like you can fuck up something on a tax form and it's like, oh yeah, you violated like 601 like subparagraph D, you know, you're going to jail, buddy. And then it's like, okay, but what if you lead an insurrectionary riot and try to overthrow the government? It's like, I don't know. That's kind of, maybe that's sedition, but it's like, yeah, we haven't busted that one out in like 200 years. So, you know, who knows what the definition of that is in a practical sense. Oh my God. That's crazy. He was just a fucking kid. It's so fucked up. You can't even get your lawyer to divert money away from your campaign funds to bring hush money to a porn star who you fucked while you were on the campaign trail anymore. He was just a kid. Oh my God. It was his birthday. Holy shit. We got the conservative version of the crying lib image thanks to this. Oh man, that really is the same face. Free Father Teresa. What? Is that what? Okay. You wouldn't convict the guy with glasses, would you? Yeah, you think that Donald Trump is gonna do like the Weinstein thing at the sentencing hearing where he shows up with like a walker and like, you know, bifocals, and he's gonna be like to try to to bait the sympathy of the judge. He was sentenced to prison for having sex. How can you support this? Yeah, in this modern fucked up world that we live in, you can't even have sex anymore without the woke mob convicting you for it on 34 criminal counts. I've been grilling. Can he actually go to jail for this? Oh, yeah. I mean, he probably won't. But he could. But yeah. Oh, yeah, what Donald Trump, who has told the newspapers to report that he's not mad, did in fact speak after the sentencing.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man.
Look at this guy, man.
It's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now.
Dude, it's the same. It's like reflexive. He can't even stay on topic after he's been criminally convicted. Dude's like setting records, making a history of how deep in the hole he is, and he's like, you know, time for me to. Yeah, it's AI jibber jabber. It's like how those AI upscaling algorithms turn everything into a big booby anime girl. It's like Donald Trump turns every situation into a. You know, our country's falling apart. There are billions and billions of illegal immigrants coming in from the border.
From prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight.
Why are they letting him ramble like this right outside the courtroom? Because he's allowed to. It's a free country. I mean, if he keeps this shit up, it's not going to be a free country for him anymore. But, you know, it is a free country. He can do that if he wants.
For our Constitution, this is long from over. Thank you very much.
Why should voters vote for a convicted felon?
Are you getting out?
You believe in the rule of law? You trust the jury? Are you
What did she ask? Why should somebody vote for a convicted felon? Which he is now, you know, that's like a thing you can say. It's like how after Derek Chauvin got convicted for murdering George Floyd, calling him a murderer was no longer like a rhetorical flourish or like a point of you know, fact, but actually like enshrined legally in the you know the halls of our justice system. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, so I mean, the first act is Donald Trump's second term. He'll say, you know, he's going to investigate like 3 million illegal immigrant jury votes that led to his conviction. My God, he can't vote in Florida anymore. Florida don't let felons vote. Donald Trump losing the 2024 presidential race by 1 vote in Florida, which inexplicably went purple because he wasn't able to vote for himself. Yes, the sentencing for the case has been set for the 11th of July. So we've got about a month and a half-ish to wait for the sentencing, which is pretty typical. Yes, as people, yes, Masago, as you keep pointing out, it's 7-11. Thank you. This is nice, but should we get our hopes up anyway? Stop asking me. I'm so tired of being the atlas that holds up the hopes and dreams of chat, okay? Just enjoy something. Just enjoy it, okay? Watching a fascist get criminally convicted as the first president to have ever done so feels so good when you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you that he's probably not going to serve jail time over it. You know? Are all 34 counts felonies? Yes. But he could. He could. It's not impossible. Like, obviously you have the whole appeals process to go through, but at the same time, this is all not judicial, a judge's discretion for jail time. You know, it really is you know, the judge could make like okay, basically what I'm saying is the judge has the ability to create discourse for the rest of our lifetimes by making him die in prison. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that, like, purely as a meme, like for the content, you know, we could live in a boring world where Donald Trump gets hit with like $78,000 in fines, or we could live in the interesting one where he spends the rest of his life in prison and dies of a broken heart because they won't let him have the ketchup steak, you know, like 6 months into his sentence. You know? I'm just saying, like, we could live in a good world or a bad world. They could do the funniest thing or they could do a not funny thing, you know? If I was the judge personally, I know what I would do. What is the minimum sentencing? Oh, I don't fucking know. I'm not a lawyer. You know, it's judge's discretion. Okay, anything but prison time is a waste of time. Any fine he can pay. What are they gonna have him do? Clean up trash under the highway? Well, hold on, wait now. Okay, hold on. That might actually be better than prison. You know, you think we can get him on a strict enough community service timeline that he's like kept from campaigning, and there's just a bunch of photos of people tossing greasy McDonald's takeout bags at him from the windows of their cars as they drive by at 48 miles an hour. You know, he's like stabbing all of it with the little pokey stick they give felons who are cleaning it up. Yeah, I think that might actually be better than prison. You know, that's kind of like the stockade of the modern world. Your don't litter position in shambles. Yeah, my heuristic on this is really being challenged. I feel like my don't litter position is crumbling in the face of my it's okay to litter if Donald Trump has to pick it up position. I'm adjusting it. But that's living, right? Like living is adjusting your perspective on life as new information is given to you. And this new information is helping me adjust my perspective, you know? I'm not static like the mountain, you know? I flow and change like the river. You got to enjoy life, too. Hold on. Was anything said after this? I should probably check. Does this mean the GOP has basically lost the independent vote? No. It's difficult to say whether or not this is going to have any effect on people's actual votes. There are some polls where Republicans say they wouldn't vote for a convicted felon, but that's the problem with Republicans. They're stupid and liars, so I don't think that would necessarily be reflective of their actual behavior, because they're just going to be like, oh, by I wouldn't vote for a convicted felon. What I meant in my mind was like a black guy, but Donald Trump is like a white guy, and he's been rigged by the deep state, like he's been set up. So that's not what I meant when I said convicted felon. And then they would just vote for him anyway. It's actually possible this might net him more votes because because, you know, this is like this sort of amplifies all the talking points about him being a victim of state oppression or targeted, you know, Biden administration election interference. It's kind of hard to say. What's ABC on about? What are we on about?
Showing no facial emotions, nodding along with Judge Merchan as he thanked them for their service. He asked them for feedback about the entire process in the future. He said to them, "You are excused with the gratitude."
Yeah, that's true. And also, we should be fair about this. There is also a possibility that this significantly affects his voting, his like voting sort of like viability for, you know, in a negative way, right? Like there probably are a lot of people who would be swayed against voting for him on this basis. That is entirely possible. I don't want to downplay that, you know.
Courtroom day to day. There was very little exchange as far as making eye contact with the
one of those jurors is going to be shot. Can we stop manifesting?
Fate was in their hands,
chat?
although
can you stop being the bitch in my ear telling me stuff?
The former president was studying each one of those jurors, particularly as they were polled individually after this verdict today, each one of them saying yes when asked, "Is this your verdict?" Former President Trump found guilty on 34 felony counts in New York City late today. Rachel.
Now, like, in fairness, this is pretty inarguable as like the facts of the matter go, because based on the information we had, it is an objective, inarguable fact that Donald Trump did the crimes that he is accused of here. There's not really any room for like interpretation or whatever. It's like pretty straightforward, you know. His Wikipedia just changed. His Wikipedia probably changed 8 picoseconds after the news broke. You know how those people are.
Complete travesty. Senator John Cornyn calling this verdict a disgrace. Even Trump's former rivals who ran against him in the Republican primary, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, calling this all political, saying this was an effort.
Wow, even Ron DeSantis is speaking out. That's crazy.
The SUV there in the foreground of your screen. Sorry to interrupt, but let's just watch this scene as it plays out. We'll come back to you for Republican reaction. We also have reaction coming in from members of the Trump family. We know inside that
Wow, are
courtroom
they
today, Eric
defending Trump?
Donald
But
Trump's
that would be
son,
so crazy.
throughout
Even
the course of this trial,
Donald
he
Trump
has been
Jr.
there,
is protesting
not
this
necessarily
verdict.
every day, but has often been there. We have seen Don Jr., we've seen Tiffany Trump. Notably absent from the trial itself, Melania Trump and Ivanka Trump.
Okay, actual quick fucking question. This is an epidemic. I am spotting 3 men with navy suits and tan shoes. Are you fucking insane? What is wrong with these guys? Okay, I'm sorry.
John Santucci,
The
who's
tan,
watching this
not even
picture,
dark brown.
right along with us
Look
here.
at this.
An extraordinary sight, and
You look
you're
like a
hearing
fucking
reaction from the Trump
clown.
family, in particular, Don Jr.
Yeah,
You're wearing
Donald Trump
dress
Jr. being one of
sneakers.
the first family members to react
fucking
to this, David,
chimp.
telling ABC News
They dressed
Democrats
fucking
got
chimp
what
heads
they wanted
day
here.
one
You know,
of
of course,
dressing.
they have hyped on the fact that New York is a state run by Democrats. Of course, as we know, you mentioned earlier in your conversation with Dan Abrams that, of course, Donald Trump is no longer a New York resident. All of Donald Trump's children, his 3 adult children in particular, who all lived in Manhattan at one point, now reside, of course, in Florida with their father. And Donald Trump Jr., David, telling me that same sentiment that his father echoed in front of the cameras on the 15th floor of that Manhattan courthouse.
Dark
that
blue and
voters will
brown
now
is cool,
weigh
not
in.
dark blue
Voters
and
will
tan
decide
shoes.
this election in
don't
November,
even.
and
That's
that will
brown
be
right
the
there.
real
That's fine.
result and
Might be black.
outcome
It's hard to tell.
that they will, of course, will look forward towards.
John,
Wow,
that
thanks
the
for the
Trump
reminder,
family,
Black and the
Donald
Board. That's
Trump
crazy. Why are you
watches those
spamming?
polls every single day. He has talked about it as he has left the courtroom in New York under that partial gag order, unable to talk certainly about any witnesses on the stand. But
he was just a kid.
Would talk in generic terms about the proceedings of the day, but then would pivot politically to the race for president. Obviously, they're very aware of where the race stands. The national polling.
What's Fox News
shows
up to?
President Joe Biden and former President
What's
Donald
Fox
Trump
News
really
up
within
to?
a point or two of each other on any given day when these national polls come out.
Close attention throughout this trial. They took notes
AOC.
throughout the entire trial. They were furiously scribbling. I didn't see any of them really doze off ever during the trial. There were parts that did get a little bit tedious at times. So I would just say this is probably
I want to
the most
get the immediate post-statement, Cope. Hold on. Right after Donald Trump makes his loser boy statement.
Judge, you should have never been allowed to try this.
July the 11th. So that's the next step of this, and we are getting this live picture outside. This will be the next shot of the motorcade there as we're watching this. And let's bring him back in here. Andrew Kraft, Nima Rahmani.
Is
thank
Fox
you
on
again,
Team Trump? Yeah, of
as
course.
we're just watching all of these scenes unfold, certainly historic scenes as well. What do we make of his comments? He didn't speak for a long time, but he did seem somewhat rejected. Is that fair?
Is this Fox News or local Fox?
The look on his face.
This is live now from Fox. That's not the regular Fox channel,
there.
right?
After now he has been found guilty on 34 counts of falsifying business records. And so he walks out of court a convicted felon. The sentencing day
Live
I
now
thought
from
was
Fox,
interesting.
live now from Fox.
Just
Fox
weeks
2
before the
Detroit.
RNC convention in Milwaukee.
I don't think the
and no
main
doubt, as
Fox
former
channel's
President Trump has
broadcasting
done,
right now.
Since he debuted on the political stage, coming down the golden escalator in Trump Tower in June of 2015, he spins things to his advantage. No doubt his supporters will be rallying behind him. But I thought it was so interesting. He said the real verdict is November 5th, Election Day. And you see how he is in campaign mode, campaign mindset already. And so you have to imagine.
These guys are fucking losers, man. Are you kidding me? This is who they've got repping Fox on YouTube Live right now. They've got 19K viewers. Let them show us the jurors, the Trumpers in the chat calling for blood. My God. Let them show us the jurors. Let them show us the jurors. It's this one guy. This one guy really, really, really wants to personally lynch those guys, you know? Why do they get the Fed post and not us? It's not fair, huh? You know, it's not fair. Donald Trump gets away with leading an insurrectionary attempt. You know, Rosa Luxemburg gets shot and dumped in a river. It's not fair. Life isn't fair.
Expanding by a point or two his lead over President Biden in some of these key battlegrounds. And they must be wondering, given what John Karl reported earlier and what our polling and others who have polled this question of independent voters and those who are on the fence, whether or not a felony conviction would change their minds. whether or not this has any impact on numbers that are already extraordinary.
Remember, polling's not real.
So
Don't
David,
hold it
you
too close
mentioned
to your
the last
heart.
several weeks the polls have been doing a bit better. It's also been the last several weeks that they can't capitalize on that because, as you well know, this was the first time in Donald Trump's life his schedule was out of his hands. He,
First
of course,
message in
was
chat,
stuck
God,
in
I
that
love
Manhattan
opium.
courtroom. Recall, David,
Never
that
change,
he needed
BGG.
Judge Juan Merchan's approval to go to his son's high school graduation. So they know that this is now a tough situation. And look, David, all the reaction that I've been getting, Rachel, our colleague Catherine Falders as well, has been not surprised. It's New York. But let's be clear, this is not the verdict they wanted. So they can say they're not surprised
this afternoon, and those.
But it
This is the
something they
main Fox live stream. It's not on YouTube. We've seen it on YouTube before.
Sometimes, but I give him a lot of credit for how he framed this here at the end of his remarks a few minutes ago. We have an appellate system. We have a Supreme
Terrible
Court,
audio quality.
appellate system in this state that will review this, and if President Trump does not gain the kind of favor that he wants there, he can appeal even higher. But our system will work this out. And for anyone to suggest that a country that has survived a Revolutionary War, a Civil War, World War I, World War II, that we won't be able to make it through this, I'd say shame on you. We are a huge country.
He's doing the suicide prevention posting that the forums, that the crypto forums did when Bitcoin crashed. He's like, listen, man, I know things seem really dark right now, but you have to know that after everything this country has been through, we're going to make it through this one too. He's posting the link to the suicide prevention hotline, the number.
Here over the next several months, as I'm sure.
Don't give
based
up.
on some of the enumeration we heard from Judge Pirro and even from
It's
Andy
a-
McCarthy and Shannon
it's a
Bream and others
permanent
about the
solution
things that
to
the
a
president may
temporary
be able to
problem.
cite on appeal. But as we sit here tonight, I still have great confidence in our system. I hope we don't go attacking these jurors. It was a human exercise, jury deliberations are, and I'm one that hopes that these jurors do talk. And give us a sense of what happened in that jury room. And they have the right to
really
do that
hoping
every
these
way.
jurors provide their
Charlie
address.
was talking about the judge's instructions to the jury. You made a note and I also remember before, I think you had said to Trey Gowdy that in your experience, juries usually get it right. What about the jurors here versus the judge, or what happened there?
Well, first of all, I think it's important for people to understand that there is a huge connection between the jurors and the judge. The judge is the one who decides, when they go, to lunch, when they get a break, what they get for lunch, whether, they're going to have
Am I in
their
elementary
needs
school?
that we don't even hear about met in that deliberation room. And when I was on the bench, in almost every case, I would say, the jurors would say to me, Judge, did we get it right? And they would want to know my opinion. And I would always say to them, you got it right. You're the jury. And so there's this connection between the judge and the jurors. So I'm not surprised at the verdict. Legally, I could take this on appeal myself. But what I'm most disturbed about is the fact that they come out, that the Democrats come out with a Biden campaign that you just read. It's an increasingly unhinged campaign of revenge. Donald Trump did not sound, when he came out of that courtroom, like he was full of revenge. And they talk about how he
literally
now try
said
to
this was a
destroy
hit
the
by my
Constitution.
enemies and we're going
It's
to
just the
what?
opposite. Donald Trump is the strongest man I have ever met. There is no one
She's not
who
saying
can
anything.
withstand what this man has withstood. And I've known him for 40 years. He will fight the fight until the end. And this is a scenario that will energize him. It will energize his base.
He looked
and
very
hopefully
energetic coming out of that
along
courtroom.
with that energy will come other people who will say to themselves, what did Donald Trump do wrong? What was it again that he did wrong? I'm not sure people know what he did wrong in this
It was
case.
the hush money. He misappropriated campaign funds. It's actually pretty straightforward.
Well, the jury decided it was definitely right. Well, the appellate court will decide that. But what I can tell you is that this is the ultimate in terms of election interference. We saw it with Letitia James. She tried to bankrupt.
Hey, was the jury correct in their decision? I don't know. We'll let the appeals court decide that. But also, this is election interference. I'll pretend to believe in the system, except no, I won't. Dude, Man, it's like the liberal end of the fascist stick, where it's like, look, okay, everything bad that happens to us is a coordinated effort by our enemies to destroy us. They hate the country, they hate our people, they hate our race. We believe in the system unless the system doesn't like result in favorable outcomes for us, in which case the system was rigged. It's the same every time, you know? It's just weird they keep dancing on the line.
Protected his own son, who finally is coming up for a crime that he allegedly committed, I'll say that as a professional, for trial on June 3rd, but where his own Department of Justice prevented him from even having to answer for his lack of paying taxes in some very heavy income years. And now America is saying, you know what? Now we see them juxtaposed against each other. And it's not.
I think it is the hush money itself, but the covering up is the business. No, that's what I mean. That's the misappropriation. By covering it up as a business expense, like rather than like it just being like framed as hush money, it was like covering up a crime. That's the reason why these were felony charges as opposed to being misdemeanors, is because it was like the misappropriation of funds in service of another crime, which is what elevated to a felony level, you know? Kind of a technicality thing, but it's not that difficult to grasp.
Would be making an official statement from the White House. Apparently now, President Biden will not address Trump's conviction tonight, per People Familiar. The plans are fluid, but the first comments
it's sleepy time for Biden.
In an
It's
informal
6 p.m. over
setting
there.
in
He's
days
up late.
ahead, probably in response to a reporter's question.
You know, that won't be planned. That'll just be a spontaneous question.
They do point out that President Biden is with his family today in Delaware on the anniversary
Hush money
of
isn't
Bo's
illegal.
death. So
Hush
not
money
tonight,
on its own
but
is not
again,
necessarily illegal.
Unlikely to. When does he talk to the press? In front of Marine
the
One?
way he did
very
it
few things in Biden's
was
life
illegal.
are fluid except for his meals.
Is this the Greg Gutfield guy?
Original point.
Is this the comedy master? This guy's got the comedian face. Look at how every time he talks, his face looks so fucked up, huh? Doesn't he look a little bit like one of those Disneyland animatronic talking heads? Like the way his eyes swivel around, and he's got kind of this like plasticky, rubbery face. He's a ventriloquist dummy. He has that vibe to him a little bit. It's very unnerving.
If they don't like you, they're going to destroy you. They mentioned revenge, and it's interesting because why would they bring that up? It's because they feel somehow that it is warranted. Trump didn't mention it. They did. Why else would you bring it up? It's like a guilty spouse. Every time he sees an angry look from his husband or wife, goes,
what?
"Oh my God, she knows." You know, it's like they just go, "Well, you know, we did it." You know, and then of course they always use that old chestnut. No one is above the law.
Yeah.
And I go back to the original thing that Kat Timpf said, and no one is below the law except for Trump. Basically, it's going to be.
No, everyone is below the law. That's the point of the thing, that the law rules above all. That the point, the corollary of no one is above the law is that everyone is below the law, because the law is supposed to cover all. Okay. Yeah, so we've gotten like the vibe here from Fox News, which is they're not even going to discuss the facts of the case. They're just going to whine about how everything is like the world is so mean to baby boy Donald Trump. He was just a little kid, et cetera, right? Like they always do that shit, but at least with the documents case that Florida picked, or that Florida judge that Donald Trump appointed, who has like shown massive preferentiality towards him, has delayed indefinitely. At least in that case, they would talk about like the facts of the case on some level. In this case, it just seems like they want to say like, nah, you know, nah.
Culture, and then grows that brand into a reality TV star with The Apprentice at the time of.
Okay, yeah. This is just meant to be like suicide prevention for Fox News boomers, okay? We're not operating on an informational level. We're trying to like saturate the brains of the people who think that the world is coming to an end with some gray goose slop that they can use to dull their neurons and not like think about ending it all. All right, very good, very good. You know, ABC was a lot more fun personally.
Now know they need to double
bench. But the prosecution made the case that you don't need to just rely on Michael Cohen's testimony. There is significant evidence in this case that backs up.
Can we do MSNBC? Sure, we can get a little bit more
6
smug.
o'clock here in the East. For many of you who might be tuning in for local news, at least in the eastern part of the country.
And what'll that say?
I think that's true, Stephanie, very true. But there'll also be more people moving forward with Biden now. I think it puts some wind in Joe Biden's sail that, you know, this feeling that, boy, he finally has been busted. Trump will help Biden's donors. It's going to help Biden's brand grow. Likewise. So I think in the end, it'll probably be a net win for Biden in the short term from a fundraising point of view, because a lot of people were.
Is OAN suicide? On OAN, I presume they are currently like dumping a small white powder in a big bowl of punch. Isn't it great when you've got like a historic moment that's going to be enshrined forever in history books, and the response from major news networks is, what if we had a Zoom call from a bunch of people who have, you know, like Logitech, like discontinued Logitech 430, like it can manage maybe 240p on a good day if you have it like liquid cooled. You know, it's just, you feel like they shell out for the.
I'm thinking about them and your thoughts then, Glenn, legally speaking, as to whether the jury had to make a credibility assessment and decide what to do with their testimony.
Yeah, Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen in their own ways persevered. That's what they did.
Yeah.
And
the guy in the top right was a New York prosecutor for 25 years. The guy in the top right looks like Michael Keaton. Anyone else picking that up a little bit? Anyone else getting Michael Keaton Birdman a little bit? Not at all? No, you're all like totally off on this. No, the facial structure is there. The facial structure is there. Nope, you're all wrong. I'm defending it. I'm defending it. Bottom right is Mark Hamill. Bottom right is Mark Hamill. That's just Mark Hamill. That's the guy, you know? He's just bald. Michael Keaton wasn't even fully bald in that film. I'm talking facial structure here, okay?
When you know you have zero evidence to present to rebut Stormy Daniels' testimony, you can cross-examine her and try to poke holes in her story. They were not successful at that. Donald Trump wasn't going to take the witness stand and say, I didn't have sex with that woman. There was going to be no witness presented to.
You guys are crazy. I'm seeing it. Get this guy on Ozempic.
To either support or contradict Stormy Daniels.
You guys are fucking
and I
crazy.
Think the jury pretty
Get this guy on Ozempic.
Credited Stormy Daniels' testimony that, of course, I had an encounter with Donald Trump.
I see it. I see it.
Now
we see it.
Jurors had to judge the credibility of Todd Blanche. And
they
when
doubted
they
him.
Decided Todd Blanche lied to them.
Mods Ozempic this man.
Every other thing Todd Blanche asked that jury to believe, they viewed through the lenses of, you've already lied
Nose
to
is
us,
different.
sport.
Well, by the end of the
We're not
movie,
going
you know,
to
maybe
buy
you'd get a
into
different
these
run on that.
Other arguments that Donald Trump didn't know about hush money payments, didn't know about falsification of business records, didn't know this, didn't know that. This was really a one-sided affair on the evidence. And I felt very at ease that the jury was going to get this right. And because they resolved it so quickly.
Wow, I just realized that I don't really care that much about like a structured breakdown of a case where the like correctness of this verdict was obvious.
There's a verdict. Guilty. It better be innocent. It better be fucking innocent. We're gonna go inside the courthouse. We're gonna tear it apart.
I love Donald Trump. You got a problem with that bitch. Gays for Trump. Oh shit. This guy and I have the same shirt.
There's a verdict. Guilty. It better be innocent. It better be fucking innocent. We're gonna go inside the courthouse. We're gonna tear it apart. Fuck you! Fuck you! No crime, nothing. There is nothing. Fuck. No crime. There's no crime.
I know that this isn't perfectly representative, but I do think it's really crazy how if you went into any of the student encampments to protest the genocide in Gaza, the students there are like the nicest, coolest, most level-headed, sanest people you've ever met. Like, seriously, just a constant, like, even the people trying to make them look bad, like the grifters trying to make them look bad, would go in and they just come across like cool and calm. And then the most normal Trump supporter at any Trump rally looks like they should be in an asylum, you know? Like, genuinely, like just any Trump rally, and you talk to anyone there, and it's like, damn, I would pay higher taxes to make sure that you were given like 16 pills and 3 square meals a day. I would be happy to chip in for the straitjacket.
No crime committed. Fuck you. It better be innocent. I'm waiting for the verdict. It better be innocent. There is nothing.
Chat, is this racist? And if so, how? I'm not, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the vibes are really bad, and I'm just thinking, how do I label it, you know? Can we just say it's racist? I don't know if it is, though. Is it, I don't know if it is. The vibes are fucked. Well, I want, the video's over. I want more of this guy. This is like, so you remember, it's like, yeah, this guy's the most normal Trump supporter. This is the second most normal Trump supporter. You know, they're kind of, you're going up in order as at the rally. So like, here's level 2 Trump support, what it looks like. Why are right-wingers so weird and tacky? Because mental illness is politicized, all right? It's the 21st century. If you see a shit, like, just fat, steaming pile of shit take on Twitter from some, like, lefty Twitter account, it's probably a mentally ill 15-year-old, and it's your problem now. Like, that's just the life that you live. That's the world that we live in, you know? Donald Trump got convicted for being a birthday boy, you know? And we have to deal with this, and that's just how it is now. Why are so many Hispanics pro-Trump after we called them rapists? Because every Hispanic Republican thinks Trump was talking about the other Hispanics that those Hispanics are also racist against. It's lighter-skinned Hispanics who are like, oh, when he says Hispanics are rapists and murderers, he meant like the ones I was racist against before I immigrated to America, you know? He's talking about the people from the ethnic groups that I had as house servants before I moved out of, like, you know, Guatemala from the estate over to America like 2 generations ago, my family. That's what they mean. Like, to us, they're Hispanic, but to them, they're like the colonial, genteel whites of their country. And then it's like, you come to America and it's like, okay, what language do you speak? Spanish? Okay, you're Mexican. Sorry! We're the arbiters of fucking white hegemony, bro. It doesn't matter. There could be white people in every corner of the world. Americans are still the ones who get to decide. You come over here and you're like, yeah, when Trump says Hispanic, he means those guys. It's like, no, you too. You're also implicated in this. Oh my God. Wait, is this one the Freedom News TV person? Is this person just nonstop gem posting?
Election, baby. Congratulations, Trump just won the election.
Trump just was convicted guilty, and he just won the 2024 election. Fucking congratulations, Donald Trump. New York City loves you. Robert De Niro, you're a rat, motherfucker.
Do you think if Donald Trump died, they'd be saying the same thing? Like, if Donald Trump just kicked it from a massive heart attack, they'd be like, Soros, you think you've won with your fucking heart attack ray gun, but in reality, we've got you right where we want you. 5D chess. Died of a big shit in the toilet. If Donald Trump doesn't take an Elvis on the way out, like, it's gonna be kind of disappointing. That feels more thematically appropriate than anything. Vosh, do you think it's better to attack the politicians, not the voters who are manipulated? Nah, I think you have to 50-50 this, because a lot of Trump voters are legitimately paranoid victims of a coordinated right-wing conspiracy to lie to them. And also, some of these guys are just literally the worst human beings alive. There are so many Trump supporters who are just like the shared coalition of bad people, you know? Domestic abusers, child abusers, rapists, pedophiles, and like united in large part because bad people tend to stick together, because good people tend to identify and ostracize them. There's a reason why there's a massively strong correlation between your Trump-supporting relatives and the biggest pieces of shit in your family, you know? And the louder they are about Trump, the more likely they are to be a piece of shit. Like, that's not entirely a coordinated right-wing such and such. A lot of that is just bad people attracting bad people. Narcissists tend to like narcissists, at least from a distance, not necessarily in person.
We love not guilty! Not guilty! Not guilty!
No, he was found guilty. No. from the Onion. True. The woke left won't let me say this on YouTube. Donald Trump sentenced with testicular torsion. You know, bailiff, bailiff, remove this man's pants. It's fucking. The nation needed this. We're healing, okay?
The only man that ever stood up for me in my fucking life. Donald fucking Trump.
This is what I mean, by the way, about the crazies. This is what I mean about a lot of things, actually. It's big yikes, you know? It's very big yikes. It's looking into the heart of darkness a little bit. It's really sad. Yeah, no, it is. Just, you have to remember, what is it? Hurt people hurt people? A lot of the people who are crazy motherfuckers who have been lied to are also themselves, like, monstrous pieces of shit. You know, there's kind of a, like a yin and yang to that, I think.
Fucking Obama!
Fuck
Obama!
Fuck Obama!
Yo, that motherfucker just won the election, I'll tell you that much. Fuck Joe Biden.
What about Obama?
Not guilty.
I hope the country doesn't burn down.
Not guilty.
Shit, dude, like, man, okay, I do feel a bit for him because, like, this guy is genuinely mentally ill. This is why Fox News was doing the, like, here's the hotline, please don't, you know, do a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Like genuinely, like, these people are actually insane. They genuinely think Antifa burned Portland and Seattle down. They genuinely think that America is being invaded by a horde of immigrants who are destroying the country, like a coordinated invasion from Mexico and Colombia and Guatemala and blah, blah, blah. They genuinely think that, like this is all being done by a deep state conspiracy to destroy the one man who has any chance of saving the country. They are insane. We need to put lithium in the water supply. No, I would genuinely, like, me going down to the water treatment plant in every, like, major red county with a giant barrel of lithium in powder form and just like the goddamn scarecrow in Batman Begins, you know, just please God, you know, incidence rate of Republican voting drops by like 50% overnight. Please God, let me out of this fucking country, man. Do you think this guy is cute? Yeah, probably, yeah. Fucking like 50% of Trump supporters are some varying level of QAnon support. Like, they may not know the extent to which they are, but they are, you know, it's consistent. My statement on President Trump trial verdict. This is pussy shit, Mike Johnson. Post a video. Who cares about text? I can't even read. This is 2024, okay? I want a TikTok response to this, please. I thought you said cute Lamau. I mean, if he wasn't a fucking psychopath, like, I don't know, he could be like a cute older guy. I can rearrange the vibes a little bit and appreciate his appearance in a different context. I meant Q, but yeah. No. I'm not saying I could fix him. The context rearranging that I was doing in my head was purely God's domain, okay? That was the circumstances that one would have to, like, employ to change him in the ways that I was thinking could only be done through, like, a direct hand on the thread of fate.
I hope that we can find a way to love each other and to make right this fucking this prostitution.
What? Donald Trump was the one who was with the prostitute.
The only man that ever.
This is why we need to dump batteries in rivers. It contains lithium, says in the name. That's true. That's true. We should be dumping more used car batteries in rivers.
Oh, fuck him!
Oh wait, we've got an anti-Trump protester?
Fuck Trump every day! Fucking kill the guy next! I'm down for whatever!
YouTube, I do not support this man's statements. I condemn them in the harshest terms possible.
Just get him that fucker out of here!
Chat, this is a willpower test. This is a willpower test. You all want to participate in chat for the rest of the day? You don't want to say, for example, get timed out? Okay, I'm weak. No, you have to be strong. Okay, you have to be strong. Today is, yeah, okay. The tall poppies, all right, do not grow too high, all right? The scythe cometh. Good lads.
I think it's time for dancing in the streets. Dancing in the streets.
Liberals. That is the weakest chant I have ever heard in my life. Are you kidding me with this shit? Trump is not above the law. No one is above the law. You can't rhyme law with law. That doesn't, oh my God. They're all 85 though. Yeah, and yeah, I think 85-year-olds could probably come up with a good protest chant if they wanted to. I don't want to take that away from them. Are you ageist? I'm not ageist. I think they could. I just think they're choosing not to. I don't want to patronize them. Oh, little babies, you couldn't have. You know, you all got one foot in the grave. I think they could have if they tried. Why are these all so loud? Oh my God, they're all so loud. That's a noise. Woo! Hello, firefighter. Catch me leaving my oven on while I fall asleep. They brought pikemen. Wouldn't you? Hell yeah. This guy.
Holy fucking shit.
Okay, this is all like one group of people together, okay? That's why we're getting so many you know, insights into this particular wacky crowd, which I'm fine with. Whoa, Nikolai Prime, you think cuz you suck dick you can say that?
Holy fucking shit. Motherfuckers! Motherfuckers! You suck! You suck! There is no justice in this country! Guilty! Not guilty! He's not guilty! You pieces
Jesus
of shit!
Christ.
Why Eat shit and die! You're fucking corrupt,
Your fucking
motherfucker!
kids are all dead. Your kids are all
Piece
fucking
of
dead.
shit!
All your
Piece of
fucking
shit!
children, they're all fucking
I
dead.
found guilty!
They're all fucking dead.
Yeah! Motherfucker!
Fucking guilty.
Motherfucking piece of shit!
Fucking guilty.
It really does make you reflect. Like the lithium joke feels like less and less of a joke. I understand that these guys are non-representative of the average Trump voters because they're actually out here protesting, but in my personal experience and from the experiences that I've had from people just talking to me about like their family and their friends, there are a lot of Trump supporters who like genuinely need to be injected with a gallon of lithium. You know? It's kind of crazy. Lithium isn't a joke. No, lithium is not a joke. We're being serious about this.
Piece of shit! There's no justice in this country! It's all corruption! It's all fucking corruption! I have a message for you! Fuck you, Juan the Con! Juan the Con! I'm fucking pissed!
Fuck you and fuck Joe Biden too.
Fuck Joe Biden!
All I know is this.
Fuckers! Fuckers! Yeah!
Guilty on a whole nother animal and a whole new way.
It's a lynching! It's a lynching! It's political!
Tim Pool. Whoa, Tim Pool really upping the stakes and busting out the fierce rhetoric by saying the thing that he said 8 million times before. Bro, Tim Pool, civil war? You're kidding. You wouldn't go there, would you? No way. Tim? No way. He could have put a little more thought into this. Come on. He's so ridiculous. Yeah, but have you met a Tim Pool fan? Like, he's playing to his crowd.
Interference! It's over! There's no justice in this country! It's over!
Over.
Corruption. Tell me your reaction.
I'm shocked. I don't want to believe it. That's unbelievable.
I think it's super good. What do you think about the verdict? They're doing this. Corruption. The judge said they could do this.
Lady, you're putting the sunglasses on. Are you actively on meth right at this moment? Did you do it before coming here? That's crazy. I would loading up from the pipe before arriving at the function. Okay.
And I'm fucking pissed. Calm down. No, I'm not going to calm down.
And the people who are on the ground, the minority guy is one of us. He's one of us. And now they have only made the poll numbers go higher. I guarantee that's what you're going to see coming next. The polls are going up. Donald Trump is going to win even harder. They're going to have to bring in Michelle Obama. They're going to have to bring in Michelle Obama, Big Mike, in August to try and fix things. But that's not going to work either. The numbers are going to go so high for Trump right now that it's over for Biden. It's over for the Democrats.
Fuck you, Judge Juan. Fuck you. There is no justice in this country. We want a democracy. This is America. You railroaded this man. He committed no crimes. Fuck you! I'm mad as hell, as they say. I'm mad as hell. Let's take to the streets. Let's take to the fucking streets. I'm pissed.
You're on the
I'm
streets.
Pissed. Let's take to the fucking streets. Good. Let's block traffic. Corruption in this country. They're convicted an innocent man. He committed no crimes.
Sorry, I do find these delightful to watch. Though it mostly, this particular account seems to be, it's mostly just this group of people, so, you know. He needs bro, why so perverted? You know, this is a historic day. A former president's been convicted of a felony, and you're just thinking about what, boobies? Calm it down, okay? You need to get on the level that this community is on currently, which is making jokes about injecting people with a gallon of lithium so they don't vote for Donald Trump. You know, you need to be serious. You need to be an adult. Good. Yeah, get on the same page. Holy shit, man. I suppose I should do some diligence. I should do my due diligence and actually talk politics for like a second. For those of you who are watching right now, I assume that at least some of you aren't typical viewers of the channel because the number is higher than it normally is. Hello. First of all, hi. Second of all, so what does this mean for November? First of all, is this conviction going to stick? In like a rhetorical sense, in the court of public opinion, the fact that Donald Trump has been convicted of a felony probably isn't going to change, even if an appellate court in the future, you know, they appeal and they find him not guilty. I mean, that process might take so long that it's not even relevant to November. So we can say, at least in the context of this election, like rhetorically, he'll be treated as a felon, right? That's set. You know, I don't think any appeal process is going to change that. What is the actual sentence going to be? The sentencing is going to be on July 11th, and it is going to be, it's entirely up to the judge's discretion. The judge has discretion. Is Donald Trump going to be picking trash under a highway? Probably not. Is Donald Trump going to be paying a fine? That's the most likely outcome. The judge is very well aware of the fact that if he sentences Donald Trump to prison, something he could do that would not only forfeit his life, in all likelihood, that would also lead to an immediate, unprecedented national and constitutional crisis. Not a real one, mind you, like not a real constitutional crisis, because you can sentence Donald Trump to prison. You are allowed to do that. That's not a violation of any law. But it would make a lot of people extremely upsetty spaghetti. Now, I think it would be very good and very fun and very funny for him to go to prison. I also think he should, just in a kind of general moral sense, but I'm mostly leaning on the comedy with this one. I think it would be good if he did. You know, it'd be a good bit. It would lead to a lot of funny jokes. We get some good Onion article headlines out of it. Is it actually going to happen? Negligible chance, but not zero. In a procedural sense, there we go. In a procedural sense, it is entirely possible that this does in fact lead to an actual prison sentence. I think a fine is most likely. What about house arrest? Could be. House arrest would be an interesting middle ground because he would be posting videos like every day with nothing to do. It would also massively hamper his ability to campaign. you know? And it would depend, like, if the house arrest continues up into November and beyond, like, what does that even mean? I have no idea. Like, that would be, I would like to see very much. Now, of course, personally, I want him in prison, you know? I'm a little bit disappointed with all of this in, like, a narrative sense, because this is the Al Capone getting him on the taxes thing. You know, as I said before, I think it bears repeating. We have so many very specific crimes that correlate to, like, misappropriation of finances in some specific way, right? Like, if you do X or Y wrong on your taxes, or if you do this or that with your money, it's like, oh, congratulations, like, you're definitely going to prison over this. But then for the big stuff, like leading an insurrection or trying to overthrow the government, both things Donald Trump did, you know? Those crimes are too big, you know, they fit into really big, broad categories like sedition or insurrection or treason. And those are, like, so rarely employed, so rarely fleshed out, and so broad that it's kind of difficult to get somebody on that. It's like, well, how do you get somebody on something that big, you know? In truth, it's very difficult. So, you know, we're going for the technicalities here. It was like this with Al Capone as well, because every man alive knew that Al Capone was a mob boss. There wasn't any doubt about this at the time. Al Capone was just competent enough to make sure there were always barriers between the law and him, to make sure it was difficult to, like, pin him, you know, with the crime, like, in a technical sense. And as a consequence of that, it was really difficult to deal with him. That's a consequence of living in a free society with a good legal system. Not to say we have a good legal system, just those, like, sometimes it's really difficult to go after a person on the legal technicalities. That's kind of like a byproduct of not having an authoritarian judiciary where they can just go like, oh, well, you're a disturbance of the public order, we are sentencing you to death, you know? Again, not saying we have a good system, just saying that it's like a symptom of a good system. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We're going to see what this leads to, like, because for me the big question is, what is this going to lead to when it comes to, like, people's willingness to vote for him? I think that for the most part, it is unlikely that the fervor of him being convicted is going to lead to that many more people voting for him, because the kind of people who would vote for Trump because they thought he was being persecuted by the deep state would have already voted for him. Like, name me the guy who's like, yeah, I'm not voting for Trump this November, but if he gets convicted of a crime, it's because the deep state's after him, and I'd vote for him for that reason. Like, I'm sure there are some like that, but I don't know if it's that many. I am curious how many centrists, how many moderates, how many rhino types, more liberal Republicans would be really moved over on account of him being, like, a convicted felon. You know, I have no idea. One way or another, we're living in history right now. This has never happened before. We don't really have a roadmap for the future. And just as a bit of media literacy, I saw this in the YouTube chat before it came in. Thank you very much, BGL, you know. Benjamin told me to call him that because it's cooler. I'll respect it. Thank you. I'll go over those soon. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I would be wary, just in a media literacy sense, of anybody who seems overly confident about what comes next or what this is going to lead to. There are so many people out there that are going to narrativize like crazy. Every Republican alive is going to be like, every pundit, you know, every grifter, they're all going to be like, this is the greatest threat our country has ever seen. You know, our democracy is crumbling because George Soros and Joe Biden and they are teaming together to, like, you know, destroy Donald Trump, our one glorious savior. This is going to lead to a huge spike for him in the polls. Like, I would be concerned about people who are too confident with their narrative. Nobody knows what's coming next. Nobody knows what's coming next. I was joking, Benjamin. Nobody knows what's coming next. So just keep that in mind moving forward. Just keep that in mind moving forward. That's all. Can you link it, Lily Crumb? I suppose it'll be on ABC. You know, we have to be careful with our narratives. That's all I ask. Republicans will suddenly be concerned with felon rights. That's the real potential benefit to all of this. It's that we suddenly get the best treated prisoners in the world because Republicans are like, it is fucked up that Donald Trump doesn't get to watch TV in prison. It is fucked up that Donald Trump doesn't get 3 square meals a day that are like cooked by chefs in the prison. It's fucked up that, and as a consequence, like we're spending 40% of our GDP on prison care by the end of 2026, and like people are deliberately, like shooting up 7-Elevens so that they can get put in the like Ritz-Carlton, prison center. Florida suddenly letting felons vote. Yeah, Florida, like not only letting felons vote, but having like the, hiring sex workers to go in there, just a full, like they're getting manicures in there. You're out here toiling away 3 part-time jobs trying to make ends meet, paying rent. That is like 90% of your combined income. And there are people in prison who are making like $80 an hour in a woodworking class. And then at 6 p.m. they get to go back to their single bed prison room and get jerked off by like a beautiful lady that got brought in for him specifically, like they're on first name basis. All of this can be ours if only the judge will sentence Trump to prison. I want a good prison economy. 90% of our GDP is just like service work and amenities for prisoners. What about a beautiful man or a beautiful man? I apologize for my discriminatory and sexist language. You can also have a beautiful man jerk you off. Apparently there was a watch party of the conviction announcement. This is the moment they learned they were guilty. Like it's the MAGA version of the gender reveal party or whatever, the cut into the cake. And is it like gray or like orange for prison uniform or blue for the blue skies? This is a meme, Garrett Main. That's not real, by the way. Bad prisoners get the Sabagiga themed handjob. Bad prisoners get the like Antichrist handjob. Oh, I actually thought it was real. That's okay. My slick media analysis skills coming in clutch as they always do. Will you show the moment or no? No, because it's not real. I baited you. I want to see the DA statement.
Here on the desk, we'll go to him on what this means, the law, the decision, this moment in history, and our correspondents with reaction. Mary Bruce is at the White House tonight. Rachel Scott on Capitol Hill with reaction from Republicans, what this does in the race for president. But first, the dramatic scene that played out late today from our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, leading us off at the courthouse.
Tonight, former President Donald Trump defiant, arriving home at Trump Tower after being found guilty as charged of all 34 counts of falsifying business records.
That is what
Trump,
34
now
counts
a convicted
looks like.
felon. The historic verdict coming after nearly 10 hours.
This looks like a YouTube thumbnail, doesn't it? With the way Trump's leaning forward, his head's so big because of the wide-angle camera lens. Like, look, what? Like a video that's 2 minutes and 4 seconds long, and there's an AI. It's like AI slop that's getting read out about how Donald Trump shocked all of the jurors by pronouncing not guilty in perfect Mandarin or something.
Hours of deliberations. A unanimous jury of 12 New Yorkers made Trump the first president in history to be a convicted criminal. It was an extraordinary turn in the courtroom. Just moments before jurors signaled they had a verdict, Judge Juan Merchan indicated he was going to excuse them for the day. Then a dramatic shift. Trump went from joking with his attorneys to sitting stone-faced, looking down as the jury read the verdict count by count. Prosecutors proving Trump falsified business records to conceal a $130,000 hush payment to porn actress Stormy Daniels to keep her story from voters before the 2016 election. The former president then marching out of the courtroom with his lawyer Todd Blanche by his side.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
And
Do we have a link to the DA statement, or Lily Krem, were you jerking my chain?
Cheers could be heard in the crowd as news of Trump's conviction spread.
Guilty! Yeah, man!
Guilty!
The trial lasting 7 weeks, 22 witnesses taking the stand, including Trump's former fixer and lawyer Michael Cohen, who Trump's defense team called the greatest liar of all time. Cohen late today releasing a statement saying today is an important day for accountability and the rule of law. While it has been a difficult journey for me and my family, the truth always matters. And Stormy Daniels in a statement tonight saying no man is above the law. Trump seen leaving the courtroom late today, getting into his SUV, surrounded by security. Judge Juan Merchan thanked the jury for their handling of a very stressful and difficult task, saying you were excused with the
Gotta say, I really don't like the fact that when they show the judge, they show him the exact same way they would show, like, this guy got shot the other day, you know? Like, the somber lighting and the, like, sad kind of framing next to it. It's almost like they're predicting what a Trump supporter is going to do, I don't know, in the next, like, 48 hours. Sometime before the sentencing. Bragg has not made a statement yet, but it is upcoming. Yeah, I saw.
Gratitude of the court. Court dismissed. The sentencing date for Donald Trump, July 11th, just 4 days before the Republican National Convention.
All right, so let's get to Aaron Katersky, our chief investigative correspondent, live outside the courthouse.
They don't want to
again
have to
tonight.
make
And
two
Aaron,
graphics.
as we were on the air,
I get
you
it.
reported on this extraordinary shift in temperature in that courtroom. Judge Juan Merchan at first indicated that jurors would be going home for the day, that this would sort of...
Bro must have the craziest security detail. Yeah, I'm not, like, the last statement was a joke, but, like, I'm not joking when I say, like, he's 100% surrounding himself with a security detail right now. Hopefully the jurors stay safe too. Like Jesus Christ, you know?
It was really incredible to watch former President Trump joking with his defense attorney, Todd Blanche. At one point, the defense attorney keeled over and laughing, nearly hitting his head on the defense table. He was laughing so hard. Prosecutors, too, sharing pleasantries, laughing with one another. And when the judge returned to the bench saying we're not going home because the jury has reached a verdict, the mood in the room instantly shifted. Everything became much more rigid. Court officers flowed into the room. There was not a sound from the crowd until the jury walked in and rendered its historic verdict, David.
Aaron Katersky leading us off here tonight. Aaron, our thanks to you as always. I want to bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. And Dan, you and I were talking 2 days of deliberations. We know the judge instructed this jury to make sure you cannot come up with a verdict here, guilty or not guilty, based solely on the testimony of Michael Cohen. You must look at the totality of the evidence. There must be corroborating evidence. They asked about David Pecker's testimony from the National Enquirer to be reread to them, along with other things.
Jeans and dress sneakers. I don't even want to talk about it, man. I don't even want to talk about it. You're wearing a black suit jacket. Is it black or navy? It doesn't matter.
They clearly believed the corroborating
Is that black?
evidence.
Oh,
It
no.
can't just be about Michael Cohen. So
Black
it
suit
means
jacket,
that when they were
white
asking to
shirt,
have that
black
testimony
tie and
reread of
jeans.
David
Fucking
Pecker,
end it
they
all,
wanted
man.
to be reminded what exactly
I need to go back
did
to the
he
Fox
say?
News stream.
In
I need to hear
particular,
the
about how this
hotline.
scheme started. According to the prosecutors, this starts in 2015, not in 2016. That's when the effort begins in a meeting with David Pecker, Michael Cohen, and Donald Trump, discussing how to find potentially negative stories about Donald Trump and make sure that they don't see the light of day. Prosecutors made it clear in their closing arguments that that was the beginning of this. When they asked to have that read back,
It's
that
like a
meant
joke.
At the least, they were following the prosecutors'
It's like the
roadmap.
fucking cutaway where you see the talking man, the anchor with the suit on. Then he stands up and he's wearing like tighty whities or something. It's like every time they cut to the full guy, put him behind the desk, not in front of it.
On the fact that he's a Florida resident, the conviction's in New York, Florida law says they defer back to the state where it happened. That would mean New York, and in New York, the only way you can't vote is if you're actually serving time as a felon.
Last question, and I think about the viewers at home on this one. We know Judge Juan Merchan is planning a sentencing at this point for July 11th, I believe, which is 4 days before the Republican National Convention. I know legal observers, including you, do not believe any time behind bars is likely here. But what is Judge Merchan, do you think? What's the scope of what we could see here?
It could be anything anything from no time to up to 4 years. And even if it's no time, the question becomes, are there nuances, right? Could it be home confinement? Could there be probation? Could there be community service? So the judge has enormous discretion here, but most people believe because it's a low-level felony, it will be on the very low end of that.
So we will witness as a country
It's
here
not
a
fine,
convicted
Doggo,
felon
42.
who is sentenced by a judge to, you know, as you say, potentially home confinement or community service or whatever the judge decides, and that person's still running for president.
Right, and remember, that doesn't mean he's actually serving the sentence immediately after the sentencing. They could actually delay that as they appeal it and potentially not have to serve the sentence until after the election.
Okay, Dan Abrams, who's been with us all afternoon. Dan, thank you.
Yeah, so I should say, just for those who are getting their hopes up, like Donald Trump is not going to be thrown in prison like the moment of July 11th, okay? This is more about how his perception as a felon influences the election than it is him literally being stopped. It is possible that the appeals process is fully concluded and rejected before the election day. That is not impossible. I don't think it's very likely. Have you seen this guy reacting to the court? Yeah, we saw him. We saw the right-wing SJW. When's the DA going to speak?
No drama, no emotion, their heads down, very little interaction or even looking at the former president.
But I thought they had to be in jail while the appeal was going on. Well, you see, Donald Trump isn't a regular person. He's a super wealthy and powerful individual, so it works a little bit differently for him. Yeah, for us normal people, actually, if we wanted to run our, like, you know, if we wanted to appeal, we would not get the privilege of getting to indefinitely delay our time in prison. But, you know, he's a special boy.
Single file line just inches away from the former president after they had just delivered his fate in their hands, and many of them looking down, Donald Trump watching, many of them looking at the floor.
You start serving your sentence while you appeal. Yeah, we'll see how it
counts
goes.
were read, you know, count 1 guilty, count 2 guilty, and down the list. That Donald Trump's reaction at one point, he began to shake his head, but then simply stopped as the number of guilty verdicts rendered on multiple counts here continued to grow.
Mm-hmm. Man, I wish we had video of that.
It appeared at count 4 is when he shook his head. It is the reaction we have seen from Donald Trump so many times. Then, of course, before he left the courtroom, David, Donald Trump.
If you're still supporting Trump, how would this change your mind? I think that there are some Republicans and independents who like Trump for a variety of reasons, but only like him very tepidly. And him being a convicted felon might move their vote from Trump to not voting. You know, like they might just not want to get out of bed to vote for Donald Trump, a convicted felon. They might just not vote at all. They might throw their hands up in the air. I don't think that's like 10% of Donald Trump's voting base or whatever. But if it's as little as 1 or 2%, that could be enormous. That could be massive. You know, like he could lose states over that.
This question hypothetically saying, if Donald Trump were to be convicted of a crime, if he were to be convicted of a felony, would that change your support for him? The overwhelming majority of Trump supporters have said no, but there have been, on average, in polls, including an ABC News poll just a month ago, 20% of voters who say they would support Donald Trump, who would say that they would at least reconsider their support for Donald Trump if he were to be convicted for a felony. If that holds, that could be devastating to his presidential campaign, again, given how close this is. But will it hold? I mean, we just don't know, Dave.
Yeah, we can peep Fox for a second to hear more whining.
The district attorney, Alvin Bragg, in moments, we're told, is going to address the media about this verdict, the 34 guilty counts on all those charges. What do you expect him to say?
I think Alvin Bragg is going to spike the football. I think it's tragic that he's allowed so much violent crime in New York to go unpunished, and that he resurrected
this guy looks
this
pretty wacky,
zombie case to persecute the principal political rival of Joe Biden, of his political ally. I think it's an outrageous abuse of his office. I think Alvin Bragg should be ashamed of himself. But unfortunately, I don't think
he looks like Mr. Boss. He does look like a Smiling Friends character, yeah. Oh, here's the artist's impression?
Well,
is this the real one?
From
CNN,
we're going to
yeah.
wait for the district attorney to come on.
I like that.
We'll get some reaction
He looks
from
good.
you
He's probably
afterwards.
happy with
I'm
this
going
one.
to go back to our legal panel, Shannon Trey and Jonathan. Jonathan, that line, I'm sure
we
we're
love
going
a
to
good
hear
use
it,
of color.
No one is above the law. About whether this case, in the way it was tried and the way that the judge dealt with it, was fair to both sides.
Oh, I think there's going to be lasting questions to that effect. The law here, it was being written as the trial unfolded. I mean, you have a case that even people on other networks have admitted would never have been brought against anyone but Trump. In fact, you had another analyst on another network saying that they would never be able to secure a conviction outside Manhattan. I think that's part of what really undermines the legitimacy of this verdict. It fulfills the narrative that the former president has been stating for years, that there is this weaponization of the legal system. I happen to think
it's the same thing that it was before. It's the same fucking thing. It's just, did you know that, like, Donald Trump, the 100-year-old billionaire real estate magnate who's been, like, navigating his way through the court systems by, like, bullying other people and breaking the law constantly, did you know that actually things are really biased against him? Like, it's the same thing.
Saying that a second crime was committed and that these records,
give me the DA.
that these falsified documents were furthering that unlawful means. They just don't say what each of them concluded really was that second offense. That's going to be a problem on appeal because you're supposed to be unanimous. In some ways, by the way, it may work to Trump's favor that the
Rudy Giuliani is live right now. What, is he hawking some more of his freedom coffee? You guys see that? This one's a real banger. Give me a steaming hot cup of Giuliani in the morning.
You all know I stand by the truth, and if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy.
You too can support American.
Incredible bit. Yeah, this was like, dude is hard up for cash right now, like really bad. Cross-domain access denied. Wait, did it just cut the Fox News stream because I was playing something from CNN? DA on C-SPAN? We'll take C-SPAN.
Remarks from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg following the unanimous guilty verdict in the hush money trial of former President Trump.
I hope this isn't too quiet. I have a feeling this is going to be too quiet.
Service. Good evening. First and foremost.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking quiet.
Thank the jury for its service. Jurors perform a fundamental civic duty. Their service is literally the cornerstone of our judicial system.
I know.
We should all be thankful for the careful attention that this jury paid to the evidence and the law and their time and commitment over these past several weeks. 12 everyday New Yorkers, and of course, our alternates, heard testimony from 22 witnesses, including former and current employees of the defendant, media executives, book publishers, custodians of records, and others. They reviewed call logs, text messages, and emails. They heard recordings. They saw checks and invoices, bank statements, and calendar appointments. This type of white-collar prosecution is core to what we do at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. In the 1930s, District Attorney Thomas Dewey ushered in the era of the modern independent professional prosecutor. For now nearly 90 years, dedicated
he
professionals
plans
in
to
this
bore
office
to sleep
have
the
built upon
assassins currently
that fine
on their
tradition.
way
A major part
to the judge's
of our
residence.
practice during that nearly 90 years has been public integrity work, including cases involving jurists, local and state electeds, public servants, and others.
This is what history looks like, folks.
I want to thank this phenomenal prosecution team, embodying the finest traditions of this office.
How much can you bench? I can push your mom off me when I'm done, so
dedication and service.
go ask her what she weighs.
They are model public servants, and I am proud and humbled to serve side by side with them. The 12 everyday jurors vowed to make a decision based on the evidence and the law, and the evidence and the law alone. Their deliberations led them to a unanimous conclusion beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, Donald J. Trump, is guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree to conceal a scheme to corrupt the 2016 election. And while this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes to the court.
I think as you argue with your relatives on this in the future, a good thing to ask them would be, what could the prosecution have done in this trial to make you think the outcome was legitimate? Like, what did the prosecution do, or what did the defense fail to do that makes you think that the outcome of this trial was not, like, appropriately judged, you know, or ruled on? And of course, they will have no answer for this except for some vague, like, well, the deep state shouldn't have interfered or whatever, because they don't know any of the particulars of the case.
They will continue to be and have always been incredible partners. Thank you.
Oh, this guy announced that he's poly, and I, like, refreshed for that part? Fuck.
And do you plan to request a prison sentence for that Donald Trump's multiple violations of the gag order that was in place should factor into that request at all?
The judge scheduled a sentencing for July 11th. We will speak in court in that time. He also set a motion schedule. We will speak in our court filings as we've done throughout this proceeding.
Donald Trump has repeatedly targeted you personally and members of your prosecution team. Do you have a response to the former president after the trial is concluded?
I do not.
Can we... Come on, man.
Out in February, you decided not to bring a case against Donald Trump. You criticized that. You criticized when you embedded him, March 2023. You criticized when people really started to understand that case. How do you think of all that now, seeing the result today? Can you kind of put that in context with your personal history?
I did my job. Our job is to follow the facts and the law without fear or favor. And that's exactly what we did here. And what I feel is just gratitude.
They're going to try to delay the sentencing forever, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they can't delay the sentencing unless the judge chooses to, but I don't think the judge is going to choose to. They can delay the enforcement of the sentence in effect with the appeal process, depending on a bunch of different variables, but the sentencing seems pretty locked in. Yeah, you have to wait for the sentencing to appeal.
Last, Mr. Steinglass, many people said the prosecution was masterful and flawless. Just want to know how you feel at this moment. Sorry.
I'll let you
How do you feel?
Mr. Steinglass, I think some of you probably saw him speak for a little bit the other day. So he's done his job, as has this team. And he just told me, tell him how I feel. I think you said that. I will just say enormous gratitude. You know, our system, I talked about the jurors at the beginning of my remarks. We have a phenomenal system. 12 everyday New Yorkers. They listen to the judge's directions. They follow the evidence. You saw them in court every day. They were careful and attentive. And so I feel deep gratitude to work alongside them, to be a part of this system. And I just want to echo that this is what we're doing every single day. I mean, during
It's really cool how this guy is playing it humble when he's the DA who presided over the prosecution and conviction of a former president on 34 felony accounts. You know, this guy's like doing somersaults in his stomach right now. Like, this guy is having the best day of his fucking life, and he's up here being like, you know, we all did our best, and internally he's like, fuck yeah, woo, you know. This guy's having a rich internal experience, you know, and he's being very professional about it. Like, he's going down in the history books.
It's likely that Trump and his attorneys would seek a stay on enforcement of that sentence pending appeal. If that were the scenario, would your office object to staying the sentence?
I'm going to let our words in court speak for themselves when we get to the sentencing matter. I'm not going to address hypotheticals. They raise arguments, we'll respond. And I think your question really underscores an important point. This is an active, ongoing matter, right? We have other phases of this going ahead. We will continue to do our speaking about this matter, about issues like that in court.
All right, last one.
From day one, kind of the viability of this case has been questioned in all sorts of media outlets, all over the place, including from the defendant himself. Can you respond to any of that, how you feel now that you've gotten the conviction?
Right-wing media is going to DEI this dude so hard now.
My response again is I
yeah.
did my job. And I think particularly I talked about the history of the office. You know, my personal history, I started as a prosecutor.
Imagine being this guy trying to hide your post-victory erection from the press.
General's office. I served also in the public integrity unit in the Southern District.
I love
of New York.
I love my 2D DA.
2D
2D spins him around. He knocks over everyone.
This office that I'm proud to lead.
This fat fuck.
And I don't want to go into the whole body of litigation, you know, but we now have a federal court decision ruling on the legal theories. We had a state court decision on the omnibus motions. But most importantly, today we have the most important voice of all, and that's the voice of the jurors. They have spoken. Donald J. Trump has been convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records. Thank you.
District Attorney, your office has been investigating this case since
Are you concerned about retribution if Trump is elected president?
You went to the Supreme Court twice.
District Attorney Alvin Bragg, and over his left shoulder was Matthew Colangelo, who he hired as former senior Justice Department official in the Biden administration.
It's so cool how in an era of unprecedentedly widespread digital media, we're still having press conferences of this importance being held over, you know, like it sounds like a PTA meeting setup, basically, in terms of audio quality. Yeah, am I like in a town hall offering community feedback on a proposal to change an intersection from a 4-way 4-stop to a 4-way 2-stop? Am I here at 6:15 a.m. with a binder of complaints? Yes, I am.
Against a political candidate, or for that matter, any defendant. There is absolutely nothing normal about this.
This guy looks like, what's his name? Why do I want to say Dan Schneider? The guy on Twitter who does the bits, the bald guy who does like the 4 or 5 different characters. I don't know. I'm getting like similar vibes. He looks like Stephen Miller. He does look like Stephen Miller, but I'm talking about Dan Herschel. Thank you. Yeah, that guy. I don't know. It's like a vibes thing, not necessarily an appearance thing.
What do you say to them? They probably are throwing up their hands or throwing things at the television and saying this is not fair and it may affect the election. You're on the legal side of things and fighting the appellate process.
This guy just looks like he went under the knife too many times. What do you say to a Trump
supporter tonight who looks at this and feels pretty dismayed?
Doctor, my face isn't a perfect square. Can you fix it?
We all remember where this comes from. It was Joe Biden himself who said that he would attempt to prevent President Trump from winning the presidency again through quote-unquote constitutional means, meaning the weaponization of our legal system against his political opponent in a fashion reminiscent of banana republics or the Soviet Union. This all starts.
All right, so you have, let me interrupt you, Will. You know, we've gone around this block. You have, and obviously you can make the tangential argument and say this looks like it's all connected. Do you have hard evidence that the Biden machine in the White House, the campaign, or the DOJ is somehow directly tied. I mentioned Matthew Colangelo being a former DOJ attorney, directly tied to what we saw here in this courtroom.
I think when you look at all of the litigation going on against President Trump across the country, it is very clear that it is being coordinated out of the Biden administration. You mentioned the former number 3 at the Biden DOJ, who mysteriously quit his job to become a local prosecutor, essentially, in New York to bring this case. We've seen records of Fani Willis suspiciously being in the White House counsel's office, she and her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, including on the very day that Jack Smith was appointed special counsel. When you look at these cases all as one instead of individually, it is clear as day that this is a concerted campaign of lawfare that's an attempt to take the presidential election away from the ballot box.
What does that have to do with the results of this
case? And put it into
case?
courtrooms across America, which is absolutely outrageous.
Lawfare. He's like, hey, this guy saw this other guy at the White House. What does that have to do with the ruling of the jury?
Is there a process that you think an appeal is going to win, and how long will that take?
We will appeal this case. I believe that ultimately we will win this case on appeal. This case is replete with reversible error, and we're looking forward to getting down to doing that hard work in the days ahead.
What error?
Well, we appreciate your time and the reaction today, and to District Attorney Bragg. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.
Well, this has been a historic day, no matter what side.
Yeah, you can't just appeal for no reason. You have to appeal, like you have to give a reason for an appeal. Now, in practice, you can basically always find a reason to appeal, right? Like there's always something you can say. It's just a matter of whether or not the appellate court buys it. And in a lot of cases, they don't. Now, if this is state level, right? So you have the state appeal, and then would it go? It goes state appeal, then state Supreme Court, right? You don't go to the federal circuit courts at any point unless the Supreme Court wants to pick this up, because they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? So yeah, state Supreme Court. Is there a middle ground? What is the appellate court that would handle this? Do we know which one? Do they have their own like districts, or is it just whichever one picks it up? I know that at the federal level, the federal district courts are assigned states that they like have their own zone over, The Intermediate Appellate Court of New York. Well, that's pretty straightforward, like name-wise. So it would go to the Intermediate Appellate Court and then to the New York State Supreme Court. And then, if that appeal fails, they could try for the Supreme Court, who will, of course, accept the appeal. Appellate Fourth, the Appellate Division of the New York State Supreme Court. The Fourth? The Appellate Fourth? Yeah, here are the appellate departments. Which county was this in? Trump, New York case, county. New York? New York isn't a county, my friend. New York is a state. I'm talking about the Fulton County. Wait, is that the one? No, that's the Georgia election case. I said New York case. Where's the what's the? I don't know. Whatever. Look at first column. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Chat, sometimes, this is why they say streaming is an easy job, and it is. But sometimes you got a lot of egg in your face, and it takes a big man to be able to walk away from this, Me like frantically opening the Fox News because I need the hotline again. Okay, right, all right, okay, New York County. So that would be the first appellate court, and then it would go to the state Supreme Court. I just want to here, New York first appellate intermediate court. I want to see if there's any decent chance of the first or second appeals going through. I want to see if any of these have Trump-appointed judges. Pardon me for my, the implication. I think, that there might be a little bit of bias and preferentiality when it comes to the way our fine... Dude, look at the population density of New York. It is crazy. New York City, I should say. Stop saying appellate. Oh, you want me to say appellate, like some kind of fucking conformist? It's a state court. He doesn't appoint judges. Oh! What happens when you don't have lunch before you stream, huh? You're right. Appellate? Appellate? What are you, a fucking hamster? Yeah, I'll give you appellate, okay? See the population density, right? Rough day, Vosh? I mean, it's a big day for history. It's a rough day for me in the sense that I learned about the conviction when I was in the middle of something in V Rising, and it took a lot of bravery on my part to close the game right then and there and instantly open up the stream and start the stream, rather than to go like, all right, well, if I finish this, I can get all the iron back, you know? Then again, every stream that I do is also V Rising, so... You're so brave for that? Yeah. Is V Rising good? It's slop. It's extremely well-polished slop. You know how it is. You know how it is. Folks! I think anything past this is treading water, to be honest with you. I was going to take tomorrow off. You know, normally I hand this to the editors, and I'm like, hey, make a video of this. I think in this case, I should just leave the stream up, right? Like, I should just leave it up on the channel, like the main. Oh, no, it doesn't even stay there in the main anymore, does it? Because it gets filed into the live tab? It's got a live tab now. Yeah? Normally that's convenient, but sometimes it's really not. I do have to throw this to the editors then. You can republish it though? Like without having to re-upload? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. You know, I see my phone keeps lighting up, presumably from text messages that I'm getting. I saw some of them were from my editors, and I thought, you know, this can wait, and you know how it is. Listen up, folks. Not to oversaturate the topic, I wasn't going to stream tomorrow. Now I am going to stream tomorrow. You know, I expected to cover some stuff today. Kind of feel like this should stand on its own. It's history. I don't want to like, yeah, you know, groundbreaking felony conviction of former president, massive deal, history, big news, and then up next to it, it's like, you know, let's take a look at a series of tweets from conservative grifters. Isn't it funny how stupid they look? I feel like we should let this stand on its own a little bit and not cheapen it with poor company. So we will do the poor company tomorrow. You know, all the trash. I love you guys very much. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching for the first time, you know, which statistically speaking, some of you are, you should subscribe to me. I possess the mandate of heaven, you know. The sun shines where I walk, the clouds part where I travel. And I think that, you know, you walking with me, that would be like a good move for you, kind of like a little bit of like a lucky association. You know, maybe you get promoted in your job. Maybe the person you like will text you back finally after, you know, you've been waiting on them for a while. I'm just saying it could happen. All right, folks, I'm going to read donos and then I'm going to call it. I love you. I should stop saying I know, like, one of these days I'm going to go to an event, like, say, for example, the canvassing event that I'm doing in Yonkers, New York on June 22nd, 23rd to canvass for Jamal Bowman with Progressive Victory! ! PV in the chat for more details. That'll be fun. And, you know, I shouldn't say I love you because one of you guys is going to come up to me and try to talk to me. You can come talk to me. It's fine. You can talk to me at the event. I'm delighted to be there, and I really look forward to doing some good with you guys. You know? Does this mean we can propose? Yeah, POV, you're coming at me with your arms outstretched. Where's my hug at? And I'm like frantically reaching for the holster. No, I would never. I'm there. Well, don't do that, right? Like, don't do that. And I also won't do that. Tit for tat. tell all these people to come to the fundraising stream to watch you play games. That's right. One other thing. I'm streaming tomorrow morning, but also on Saturday, that's my Saturday, you know, I'm going to be spending pretty much the whole day streaming. We're going to be continuing Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, the most goated Mario game of all time, arguably. We just recently got... No, we haven't gotten Vivian yet. We just recently reached the floating wrestling city. And I'm doing all the voices, you know? I'm doing all the voices. Like, I'm playing the characters and I'm doing the voices. It was really good. I was really getting my chops in. You know, Glitzpit, thank you. I can't wait to do the Glitzpit characters because we've got Doug Dimmadome and Hulk Hogan coming up. And that's going to be really fun to get into. About the Vivian thing. This is a 1 minute, 12-second long meme video, and the characters look like Goofy Goober characters. I'm not watching this. I pay taxes. It's good. Watch it. It's funny. Kanye, are you just saying that because you don't... Do you pay tax? I don't even know. Are you a fugitive from the law? Fine, I'll watch it.
Hey, Mario, I think you should know something about me.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't born a girl.
Yes, you were born a ghost. That's so spooky.
What? No, not that. Like a gender.
As long as your agenda isn't in favor of that nasty King Koopa. Yahoo!
No, like sex.
Mr. Miyamoto gave me a lobotomy to make sure I never understand what that word means. Mamma mia.
Oh my god. I mean, like, I didn't want to be a brother growing up.
Why wouldn't you want to be a brother, silly? I love being a bro.
Mario.
I don't know how I got here.
Mario, I am a trans girl.
Oh, I love trains. A choo-choo.
I have no idea.
Don't worry, I'll explain it to him. Oh, you're a shadow, not a ghost. Oh, you transition into a girl.
And you're fine with that?
It's a okie dokie.
Oh, that means so much to me. My older sister used to call me a creature.
Oh, don't worry, Vivian. We all are creatures. Even Mario sometimes pretend to be a cat and eat out of the kitty bowl. He means well. He's just a bit autistic.
Is it weird? I kind of get why everyone wants to kiss it.
All right. I'm not going to lie. That was good for like 5 seconds. But then after that, I just got increasingly embarrassed that I was watching it with 10,000 people kind of over my... Wow, yeah, viewers plummeted right during that. I don't blame you guys. That was like pretty... Yeah, you know? That was like... Oh, yeah, YouTube chat hated that one. That was like a hard audience shift into like, let's cover groundbreaking political news into let's watch like an overdone shit. This could have been like 15 seconds, you know? For all the YouTube chatters who are still here, I'm sorry for that one. I got to juggle my audiences. I got to juggle my audience as well. You could have done a segment. Yeah, but I made the mistake of trusting Kanye for anything, for any reason, you know, which was like that's how it is sometimes, ride or die. Now we all got egg in our face. Vosh, you missed the last bit. I didn't miss the last bit. I avoided the last bit. I dodged the last bit. I parried the last bit, you know? You used to like, oh man, you made a mistake, Vosh. You didn't watch more of that video. This demonstrates you don't actually have the mandate of heaven. It's been taken from me. All right, I am reading donos. That seems like something that a political streamer would do. Quarterwit, thank you for the tier 2 sub. Really appreciate that. Intern, thank you for the tier 2 sub. This verdict got me giddy, got my feet kicking, got me giggle and shit. All right, I'm glad. Appalachian Anarchist, thank you for the 1776. Nice dono number. Unironic Orange Man Bad Dono. I doubt he'll end up in prison because carceral system is garbage, but womp womp. Love the coverage, my guy. Nice shirt. Thank you. Yeah, this is a large of an XL I was wearing before. I like the color a lot, but I need to like accept that I'm wearing large shirts now. It's kind of a trade-off because for any large shirt, the shoulders are going to be a teensy bit on the tight side. Same with the armpits on account of my just naturally incredibly big masculine figure. But... you know, on the other hand, it doesn't fit me like a garbage bag, so that's good. Unknown Anomaly, thank you so much for the $100 dono. I really appreciate that. Hey, Vosh, just want to thank you for turning me on to FromSoft. Been having a lot... I was the one who did? I've been having a lot of fun with DS3. So far, my favorite fight was The Dancer. What a fight. The Dancer is an awesome fight because it's such a mix-up. The pacing of the fight is so different from most of the... Because so many of the fights are like pause, whomp, and you have to dodge at the whomp, and The Dancer just like flows, and there's like a totally different cadence to how the fight goes, you know? Nothing else really like it. Facetious, thank you for the 10 tier 1 subs. Wait, did something happen? Nah, go back to sleep. You're good. Shaky09, thanks the $5. Breaking news, Donald Trump sentenced to 10 consecutive wedgies. Yeah. How do you do a consecutive wedgie? Do you have to, like, unbunch their underwear after each one? That seems kind of awkward, you know? Benjamin Gilbert Left, thank you very much for the incredibly kind 20 tier 1 subs. No one is above the law, so what you were saying is we're all bottoms in the eyes of the law. Unironically, yes. Like, that's why everyone says, like, oh, the law's made you their bitch or bent you over or whatever. Like, that's how it is, you know? I fought the law and the law won. The law is daddy. You wear multiple boxers, then go one by one. But then the earlier wedgies won't hurt that much because they're being, like, you're being protected by the 9 other boxers covering you. Facetious, thank you for the 10 tier 1 subs. Do you think Rudy had the NYPD stop and frisk his extra black coffee? I don't think you ever could really meaningfully frisk Rudy Giuliani. You know, he's like a little gremlin creature. I feel like he's got too many tricks up his sleeve. He looks like the Penguin. I feel like you could frisk him all over and he could still be hiding something, you know? Not even like in a weird way. He just looks like he's too full of tricks. Too many capers, you know? Yeah, leprechaun joke. That was a joke, you fucking idiot. Yeah, so was what I said, you know? How does it feel to have, like, tossed that away? That, like, excellent back and forth, you know? Technology, yeah. Sake, thanks the 5 tier 1 subs. Why do you need to play V-Rising when you are V-Rising? It reminds me of who I am. With the additional 5 tier 1 subs, does this also mean the doors to prosecution of other former presidents will be open? I don't think this really. No, I don't really think so. Because for that, the precedent for that would be like prosecution for war crimes or whatever, you know, for foreign policy, for stuff that's like presidential in nature. Not something specific like this, you know, fun misappropriation. Wordpipe with the $10. A funny song about you on TikTok. This is my headcanon team song about you. I love you, but there's literally nothing on earth that I would rather do less than watch a TikTok that's a funny themed song about me. You know, that shit needs to go into my emails so I can maybe watch it on my own time. But that's like an emotional experience that I don't like watching it in public. It's about horses. Wow, that's crazy. So it's about like the freshest, hottest jokes. You know? Not literally you. Oh, so you're the one who's making the freshest, hottest joke. I see. Gotcha. Sorry, that's an inbox a banger right there for me. Vosh, you growing your bangs or am I tripping? How am I? My hair is slicked backwards. What do you mean? I put hairspray in. My hair's going the other way, brother. What do you mean? Am I growing my hair out? Yes, every moment of my life. Unslick the hair? How do you do that? Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted me to do? I've become so numb, I can feel... Yeah. Good enough. That's actually fab. It's really not, and I don't... It's why it bothers me that my hair keeps settling into a middle part, because it just makes me feel like I'm one of those TikTokers who's like just hit their 30s and they have an audience mostly of young people and they can't handle the fact that they're getting older. So they're doing this like... Did anyone see the TikTok of that one guy? He was doing the song. It was like Groomer Core. I'm a 5'4" man whore who slit his wrists. That one? That's the like, yeah, it's like Schoolboy Edge from someone who has a car, and that's not okay. I know what you're going through. No. Hold on. I have my hair in a conservative cut. I'm wearing clothes that are like mid-century American workwear, I am doing the opposite of running from being 30, okay? You cannot bring that to me, okay? I am not waking up and looking in the mirror and going, maybe if I blow out my hair and like, you know, put mascara on, I'll look like I'm still, you know, I could still go to prom. Like I'm not, he's getting defensive. I'm not getting defensive, okay? I'm just saying, like, I've accepted my inevitable death. I'm fine with it. I don't want to argue about it. It's okay. It's okay. Vasha gets, it's fine already. All right. Vosh is just a 30-year-old teenage girl. Yeah. That's the real reason for the transgender epidemic. Everyone wants their second puberty so they can feel like they're like 13 again or whatever. It's getting defensive, beat of the day. Let's get this. Let's age this guy. Let's age this guy to death with references to the age of movies that he watched when he was a young guy. Yeah. Hey, did you know that The Matrix came out 24 years ago? Oh, fuck, you know. Convicted on 34 counts of being defensive. It's actually 25. 25. Are you still going to do an OnlyFans? What's the point of me doing an OnlyFans when I spend like 20 seconds showing off my ass to people in chat when somebody, just any like white name is like, hey, you've got chicken legs. Like I come back from the bathroom in short shorts and they're like, yeah, you've got chicken legs. And then it's like, oh, okay, here's like something that normally you'd pay $15 a month for on my OF. Yeah, I gotta stop falling for that. Yeah, well, you're all so fucking clever. You're all so fucking smart. Dude, I was serving. I was over at a nice person's house the other day, and I was looking in their mirror, and they've got, their mirror has the, like, their mirror has, like, the model lighting thing, you know, like the little boudoir, like, makeup cabinet lighting thing where the lights ring around the mirror, and it's like a big full bathroom sink, you know, with like a huge counter around it. So it's basically lighting my muscles up like I'm like I'm posing. So I get out of the shower and I'm just like absolutely stunting on this bitch, you know. It's like you should be lucky. I come over to your house and fuck you. You're like 5'5". Look at me. I look like a fucking like I'm fat and it doesn't even matter because I'm 6'2" and I've got broad shoulders. Look at me mogging you, you know? Like I look like I'm standing behind you. I look like the fucking silhouette of Batman when he's appeared behind a goon and the goon is not yet aware of the fact that he's about to get got. Vosh, you're not fat? Well, I'm not. I mean, it's kind of relative. I have fat, right? I've seen that SDL. It's really good. They serve harder than me. Do you see yourself as a bear? Not really, because I feel like to be a bear, like if you go to a bear bar, there will be a lot of like pretty fat guys. Otter doesn't feel right either. Okay, this sounds really fucking cringe, but if I had to pick a term, I feel, because twink is not right. I feel like otter is like a twink, but with a furry chest and a happy trail. And then I think when I think of bear, no, vermin, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I think wolf. And that sounds edgy because it's like, I'm a lone wolf warrior. But I don't mean any of that. I just mean in the sense that I'm like large and hairy, but mostly structured in like a fairly fit way, you know? Like, I have a distinct body type in the sense that I am large and hairy. I don't mean that I'm like a, you know, a warrior who stalks the forest at night. Yeah, because wolves aren't like thin. They're hairy, right? But they're not like super beefy or fat or right? You know, like not thin, but you know, like puppy boy confirmed. Yeah. I've seen you in the goddamn skirt, SDL. Okay, takes one to know one. You're a beaver, low key. What? Like I leave a lot of bite marks? I mean, that's true. badger. See, these aren't very flattering compare. If we're going down this road, like I will be cringe with it. Like, yeah, oh, what are you, a bear? No, I'm a lion, actually. Yeah, head of the pack. Head of the, currently running a pack with, how many people are left? 7,989, cubs behind me. Like, we march. Like, if you want me to be cringe, I'll be cringe. I can, not enough hair. I'm about as hairy as you can get while being a white guy. Like, I'm not, okay, there's Sean Connery level, I guess. I feel like I'm almost as hairy as you can get while being a white guy, okay? I feel like I'm hair maxing within my lane. I got you beat. Well, a lot of it is just I have light hair. Like, I have blonde body hair, you know? But if this hair was all black, it would look like insanely hairy. Your hair except your back. I've got some hair on my shoulder and like upper back. Yeah, maybe from, I don't know. Shaky hands. Why do people always point that out? Like whenever I say, yeah, like I broke my hands, like they're shaky now. Like, yeah, I've got shaky hands whenever I like do anything with them. Yeah. You know, I've drawn some, I drew that goddamn D&D map in spite of my shaky hands. I don't let it get me down. You know, you keep bringing it up. Basically, it'd be like every time I like walk, like I have like a limp or something from a childhood injury. And every time I walk back from the bathroom, you guys are like, limp, gimp, 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 gimp. And like, I say, okay, thank you. I know. Yeah, honestly, Tempest. Oh no, handshake terrifies me as an artist. Any hand dysfunction's horrible to manage. Glad you're managing it. Yeah, it's okay. You know, honestly, when I'm straight up junking it, it just adds like that extra dynamic, you know? That's like, normally you'd have to pay an extra $19.99 to get that feature in the like Goon Machine that you get off Amazon. But in my case, it comes pre-built. Don't even have to put in the effort in when you finger someone. Just go inside, go full on Parkinson's mode, and just power wash them. Watch this. Somebody would say this. Somebody with a bus. Vosh, stand up right now. Oh, you gotta try to shame me. Tell him the broken hand story. I gotta end stream, man. I've needed to piss for like 30 minutes, and I keep thinking like I'm ending stream. It doesn't fucking, the stream doesn't end. Broken hand story. I was a security guard for a while, and at like 6 a.m. while opening a store, there was these big metal security gates. Not like the bars, but like a full-on steel wall that you lift on like a roller, like a garage door roller, and it had handles at the bottom, and you would have to pull it up a little bit, and after you pulled it up a little bit, the motors would kick in and the winch would pull it up the rest of the way. Kind of like, imagine a garage door that you're opening manually with your hands, except it has handles inset into it, and it weighs 20 times as much because it's a huge gate. Like the door is covering is like a massive, it covers more like the opening into the place, not so much like the door itself, you know? It's a full on like both hands in, like big strength exertion thing. I could do it on my own sometimes during shifts where I wasn't there, like the two girl security guards had to both do it at once. Not saying anything, just saying it made me a little happy I could do it on my own. Anyway, yeah, I pulled it up too hard and I didn't get my hands out in time, and the winch caught it, and my hand broke backwards in the handle as it went up. Did you get workers' comp? They paid for my medical treatment. Yeah. Which was a bit of a pain in the ass to get them to do. Kind of bullied them into it. Then you got to go to the good hospital. Yeah, because they were like, we'll cover your you know, your treatment, you just have to go to this really, really, really shitty workers' comp specific medical center down by LAX, like a 50-minute drive away in midday traffic. You know? And it's like, no, I'm going to UCLA Medical, actually. I'm going to run up a $1 million bill and you're paying for it. And unbelievably, it worked. I can't believe I actually managed to shortcut through the bureaucracy of workers' comp and just flat out, like, yeah. They did me up good at UCLA Medical, too. I mean, it's UCLA Medical, so, you know. Don't you have to go to some doctor about that handshaking? Bro, it's my nerves. What are they going to do? Give me better nerves in my whole, like, hand? Probably not. No, that's life. Eat bananas? Yeah. Yeah, there actually are treatments. That's crazy. What the fuck is this, dude? Don't fucking... Don't come at me with photos of me. Look at this garbage ass fit. I can't believe you guys let me get away with this. What the fuck? Look at the... What angle is producing this effect on my leg? Is that my ass? Is that like the fabric bulging out? Am I carrying everything I own in my right pocket? What's going on here? That's crazy. What's that stain? I don't even remember what the fuck this is. I thought that was like the mic first. I mean, it must have been like I drank water and then water got on my shirt. Why do you have spit stains? Are you a fucking infant? What do you mean spit stain? What is it was like 100 degrees that day. I probably just drank some water. What is that collar? It's just a casual shirt collar. Bro pissed his shirt. Bro had his dick tucked up in the belt. Let a little pee out and it hit up here. It's fucking embarrassing. There are photos of me because we've come so far, right? This is now my Wikipedia photo, which looks a lot better, but frankly, it's kind of straight up garbage ass compared to how I dress now. There are like technical problems with this image. It actually looks fire. Yeah, because you don't have the trained eye. It's such a nice picture. Yeah, because you don't have the trained eye. That's fine. That's okay. That's all right. I'm trying to find some like... Here's me with Bastiat. Dude, the fucking man bun thing. Why did I do that for so long? Holy shit. Look at me. I look so young here. And so... ass. Yeah, MX Dizzy. That's a big part of it. I posed as a libertarian to get into this event, and it was worth it. Yeah, this is a big no-no. And not you. I'm not you posing as libertarian. I mean, this. Good lord, look at that. Look at that trouser fit, man. I was actually doing better in a photo that I went to a wedding before I fucking even had a stream or whatever. Or like, that's a better suit. I'm wearing a fucking Hawaiian shirt over a graphic t-shirt. I'm insane. What was I on? Unbelievable. Look at this collar gap. Unbelievable. It's so over. Unrecoverable. If you've ever looked like this at any point in your life, you can never look like this. You know, that's just facts. Sometimes you have it and sometimes you don't. You're born with it or you're not. If you look like that, you can never, there's just no shot. How'd you do it? Do what? I was born like this. Okay, can we please let me out of this stream? Can I find, where the fuck is the eject button? Where's the emergency eject button where's the GoldenEye helicopter in the graveyard? Fucking 006 is still alive, 005, whatever. Did you ever get that 2K coat from Anthology? No, I'm not gonna get that in the spring or summer months. I won't get to wear it for like half a year, you know? It's a full-on coat, you know, not a jacket. If I'm gonna get that, that'll be like a gift to myself for the winter. Don't forget Super Chat. How could I? Okay. Toxinum, thank you for the $5. Made this back in 2016. Feels worth sharing today. I'm glad. 8 years ago? This is very Lizard Guy coded of you, I have to say. To have made that meme 8 years ago. And having it still now on hand. Hunter Biden is my mommy. Thank you for the $5. You give me a headache by leaving on the video audios where you talk. Please never again. People get mad at me if I pause it. People get mad at me if I talk over them. You know, it's just, who do I want to make angry with me? Shaky09, thank you for the $5. Instead of 10 wedgies, how about the spinning him around his chair really fast? I would pay good money to see Donald Trump put in a, like, Herman Miller and spun around really fast. Bailiff, rotate that man. I feel like that would be really good comedy. There's no way he could hold up. There's no fucking way. Sake, thanks the 5 tier 1 subs. At least we have confirmation that 7-Eleven was and will be an inside job. I mean, they could hold it outdoors if it's a nice, like, beautiful summer day. Caleb99, thank you for the tier 2 sub. Got a new job with my city. Had a nice breakfast. Trump got convicted. Now getting pizza. Turned today into a very good day. Yeah, it's pretty good, huh? It's pretty fucking good. It's a lot of wacky stuff going on. A lot of good wacky stuff. One of these days, I really do need a suit. I fixed it. Thank you for fixing it with the better fit. I like that. What the ever-loving fuck went on down here? That's crazy. Elon Musk hires new head surgeon Neuralink. Ivan Kaczynski graduated mega cum laude at Alden School of Medicine. I'll be honest with you. I don't get the joke aside from it being what seems like a contrived string of references to stuff that is annulled in the logs of stream meme history. Maybe my brain's just a little bit cooked right now. What kind of suit? I don't have a suit. I don't have any suit. Unless I wanted to wear, like, the fucking gray one I just showed you. I probably, maybe I donated that away. I'm not sure. We need new jokes, for fuck's sake. This is one of the ways that you inject new blood into a community, is you just have to stop engaging with the old jokes. Like, for instance, the horse thing, this isn't the shame thing. It's just not funny. Like, it's just, no one has made a joke about horses in like 4 years on this stream, okay? You just say horse, and that's it. Like, the joke is horse. You don't make a fucking joke about it, so there's no comedy. It's just like reference humor. This is like Duke Nukem Forever, epic movie, scary movie shit. We can do better than that. I want to be down there in the mines, bringing you guys gems every day of stream. We need to both work hard, to make sure we're putting in our effort. Make new jokes. Then, hey, Rainbow, I don't want to hear it. Okay, I've been busting it down silly style pretty well this stream, I would say. I'd say this stream has been pretty good, This stream's been a good one on the comedy beat. Be more funny? Be more funny. The lifting your mom joke was funny. That was so unnecessary for me, man. I just can't believe all of you guys were doubting me on the Michael Keaton call, and then I showed Michael Keaton and Birdman, and you were like, "Oh wait, you guys, you had no fucking faith whatsoever." You were thinking like what, like 80s Michael Keaton, like Batman, whatever, and then I show you, no, this is what he looks like, you know, as of when did Birdman come out? 2018 or something, 2017, and like it's there, it's a dead ringer. Please, good friend, get a suit. It is a must. Were you telling me the most autistic human alive? You don't need to tell me that. Is the anthology coat 100% wool? Yeah, but it's a coat, so it's probably like lined. I doubt the whole thing is wool. You know, like it's structured. It's probably lined. Yeah, but it's not even whether or not it's like too warm to wear the coat. It's that I would look like a fucking psychopath wearing a wool herringbone coat in 72-degree Seattle weather. That would make me look like a jackass. Like, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's not like anyone in this fucking city knows what fashion is anyway. Like, everyone just walks around in puffer jackets or like, you know, unused hiking gear. Hold on. Coats and sport jackets, down to the bottom. Here we go. Thank God they're not sold out of it. Yeah, me turning up to the function in mid-July like this? I don't think so. I'm not saying I couldn't get away with it during like early spring or in the fall, but I'm not buying this shit on June 1st. Get a suit, Mr. Vaughn? This isn't a suit. This is a coat. A very, very good coat. God, look at that. God, look at that. Look at this right here. Look at that. Oh my fucking God, man. Wholly expensive. Yeah, it's like a fucking ultra high-end fashion first coat from a specific ultra high-end fashion designer in Hong Kong. You know, it's not like there are probably only like a few hundred of these coats out there. I'd be surprised if there were more than 200. Oh yeah, the one that like the furries use, Tempest? Yeah. Okay, I have to read these super chats or I'm never leaving this fucking stream. I'm never leaving this stream. I want lunch. I want lunch. I want my nuggies. I want my nuggies. I want my... Okay, the Buddhist banana, dial it down. Do you ever wear Gucci or Prada? Why would I wear Gucci or Prada? I'll be coming in my anthology drip too. Arrive at the function in appropriate clothing, okay? Because I'm not showing up in anthology drip, all right? I'm going to be canvassing. That means a lot of walking around. It's going to be hot. It's going to be New York in June, okay? I'm going to be showing up in light clothes. I live on my own time. Sensuous psychosis. All right. Still alive, thank you for the $2. Sarvis the Drow, thank you for the 5. Amateur PWN, thank you for the $10 AUD. Orange Man Bad Beyond a Reasonable Doubt. True! Oliver Settle, thank you for the £5. Zekaria, thank you for the $2. Really appreciate that. Miran Cassandra, thanks the $10. He's the fast food felon now, lol. Are not we all? Peter Earl Sorensen, thanks the 2 Canadian. Atheist Jewish Messiah, thank you for the 5. Really appreciate that. Saba Gega, thank you for the 7 Canadian. Readying my transgender mind powers. Do they all get those? That sounds cool. Benjamin Gilbert Liff, thank you for the incredibly kind $500 donation. And the 170 or so to YouTube. Chipping in for the July 11th sentencing party. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. July 11th, I'll be back in town, right? Am I going to be at Anime Expo on July 11th? I'm going to be here for the sentencing. I will be streaming for the sentencing. Thank you. RDX is on Alphathet. Thank you for the 729 Canadian. Really appreciate that. Haruko, thank you for the 100 indiscernible Czechian currency. Check. Got my degree in political science a couple of days ago. Can't wait to come on stream one day to fix the poli-sci major's image. PSA for fellow Eurotards. Vote progressive on 7 to 8 of June to EU Parliament. Yes, do the EU thing good. Make sure that you elect the right people so the EU only allocates 50% of its money to farming subsidies and not like 90%. No promises, Haruko. I do like your name though. Justin Ziegler with the $2. Does this verdict have an impact on the election? Yes, and I discuss it extensively in this video. All right, folks. Unless some jackass donated while I was talking. No. Thank God. Poli-sci majors are the basic white girls of degrees. What does that even mean besides that you're kind of sexist? What are you, a comp-sci major? Basic white girls of degree. What do you mean by that? They like coffee? They like busting it down quirky style? They don't know how to give a hand job? What do you mean about poli-sci majors? Yeah, I feel like comm would be more up there. I know how to give a hand job. Then you're not very basic, are you? I'm going to send you guys over to Dylan Burns TV. Seeing from this title here that apparently Trump is a convicted felon. Pretty crazy. Go on over there. I love you all very much, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. We're going to bust out some more segments. Remember, on Saturday, we're doing more of the Paper Mario stream. We're doing it to raise money so that we can pay for the accommodations of people who are canvassing in Yonkers, New York for the event on the 22nd and the 23rd. So make sure to bring your goddamn... the Buddhist Banana, you just rolled a nat 1 on the autism check. Shut the fuck up. There we go. God, that feels good. I need to be meaner to you guys. Like way, way, way meaner. Frankly, some of you guys are getting way too comfortable in your britches. Maybe we need to dial back the like, to live is to cringe. To live is to cringe, but you can still cringe. You can still be more cringe than you need to be. You know what I mean? Like, being alive means that at some point in your life, you're probably going to shit your pants at some point. Like, you're going to have food poisoning, you're going to be sick, or like something's going to happen. I'm not saying this is a daily occurrence. It's just like a feature of being alive is that there is a risk that at some point this happens. I've done it twice. I had food poisoning once, you know? It's not like you have a fucking choice in the matter. I was like sitting there and I was thinking I should go to the toilet for the 18th time this hour. And then I shit my pants a little bit. You know, I was sick like a dog that entire fucking weekend. It was horrible. Vermin was there. Vermin can confirm. You know, it was terrible. Wow, what a story. I know. And that's life. And you can say that. You can say like sometimes life is knowing that like at one day in your life you might shit your pants. You know, that might happen. But that doesn't mean you can shit your pants every day, right? You can't shit your pants in chat every day. Oversharing. This is you. This is you. Oversharing. Don't project your insecurities onto me. I'm alive. My heart beats, okay? I'm not afraid of bearing my soul to you. The knowledge. What kind of man would I be if I told you to live is to cringe and then I'm afraid of telling you like, oh, did you know that in the 30 years of being alive, one time I had food poisoning and shit? Who the fuck cares? Do you care? Is it oversharing to you? Is this a big revelation to you? Have you ever had food poisoning? It's not that surprising. Seriously, you ever had food poisoning? Like really bad food poisoning? You basically, you have two choices. You can either literally spend the entire day on the toilet until your entire asshole just becomes one solid hemorrhoid, or you can risk it and like walk 2 steps away from the toilet and just try to like live your life there for 5-minute intervals between you going back to the toilet. And then it's like, bro, you in that environment, in those circumstances, you shit your pants once? Oversharing, man. How could that ever have happened? Skill issue. That would never happen to me. That would happen to you, actually. I promise you. I have a tighter sphincter than you, okay? I have more asshole control than you could fucking imagine. If you put your hand up there, I could cut it off, all right? You don't come at me with this like, you know, like you skill issue couldn't be me. It would have been you, and you would have shit your pants more. You would have flooded your pants. With me, it was just a little bit. All right. How do you suffer this guy? Oh my, it must be so difficult living with someone who's cool and funny and has good taste and is rich. This is why I don't take the bus. All right, I'm sending you over to Dylan Burns. Get the fuck out of my hair, all of you. Get out of here. 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 Go, 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 go.